Welcome to the line by line explanation of Act 2, Scene 2 of Julius Caesar. So, first, let me give you an overview of what would happen in this scene. So, the scene takes place in Caesar's house, and Calpurnia urges Caesar not to step out today as terrifying things have been happening in Rome, which is a sign of a bad omen. Moreover, she had a bad dream that Caesar was dead. Therefore, Caesar decided to stay home. Meanwhile, Decius Brutus comes to fetch Caesar and says that the dream is all misinterpreted by Calpurnia and also tells Caesar that he was to be offered the crown today. So Caesar gets convinced to go out and then, along with the conspirators, goes towards the capital. So it's the Ides of March, and Caesar enters in his nightgown. So Caesar says, nor heaven nor earth have been at peace tonight. So neither earth nor heaven has been at peace tonight. And Calpurnia in her dream had cried out thrice, saying, help, they are murdering Caesar. So Caesar says, who's there? And a servant enters. The servant enters, my lord. So Caesar says, go bid the priest and tell him to do a sacrifice. And after it is done, give me the prediction of the sacrifice. The servant says, I will, my lord, and he exits. That is when Calpurnia enters. So from this scene, we can see that Caesar is superstitious. That is why he wants to do a sacrifice on an animal. So Calpurnia comes and says, what do you mean, Caesar? Are you thinking of walking out? You shall not move out of this house today. So Caesar says, I shall go out. The things that threaten me, they only see my back. So when they see the face of Caesar, they get scared and they vanish. So here Calpurnia says, Caesar, I never stood on ceremonies. I have never been superstitious. Yet now they fright me, but now I'm frightened. There is one within. So there is something inside me that tells me there is a bad omen, something bad is going to happen, apart from the things that we have heard and seen. Recounts most horrid sights seen by the watchman. So the watchman has told me some very horrible sights that he have seen. First, he saw a lioness had given birth in the streets, and graves have yawned and yielded up. So the graves have opened up and released the dead from it. Fierce, fiery warriors fought upon the clouds in ranks and squadrons and right form of war. So there's been a war that has been fought by fierce warriors high upon the cloud in a war formation, and blood has drizzled upon the capital. And the noise of the battle could be heard in the air, and which made the horses neigh, and the dying men did cry. And the ghost did shriek and scream on the streets. Oh Caesar, these things are beyond all use, and I fear them. So she's saying that these are beyond anything that we have ever seen until now, and I fear them. So Caesar says, what can be avoided, whose end is purposed by the mighty gods? So Caesar says, what can be avoided when the gods have already decided? And Caesar shall go forward, because as much as these predictions are to me, these predictions are also applicable to the entire world. Calpurnia says, when beggars die, there are no comets that go about. The heaven themselves blaze forth the death of princes. So she says, when normal people die, there aren't any bad omens or signs. But when a prince dies, the heaven themselves will light up. Blaze means light up. Here we're coming to a very, very important part. This is a very famous line. So please take care while learning this. So Caesar says, cowards die many a times before their death by getting scared. But the valiant, that is the brave, they taste death only once. So they never get scared of death. Of all the wonders that I yet have heard, it seems to me most strange that men should fear, seeing that death, a necessary end, will come when it will come. So she's saying that I feel strange when people say they fear death, because death you cannot avoid. It will come whenever it wants to come. So he's saying it is unavoidable. So why fear it? And that is when a servant enters. So he asks, what says the augurers, means the priest who did the sacrifice. So the servant said, they would not have you to stir forth today, so they do not want you to go out. Plucking the entrails of an offering forth. So when they looked inside the sacrificed animal, they could not find a heart inside it. So that is a bad omen. So Caesar says the gods do this in shame of cowardice. Caesar should be a beast without a heart. If he should stay at home today for fear, no, Caesar shall not. So Caesar saying gods do this just to shame the cowards. And Caesar is like a beast without a heart. And he shall not stay home today for fear. Knows that Caesar is also more dangerous than what danger is. He's saying danger and Caesar are two lions that were born on the same day. And Caesar is the elder one and more terrible than danger itself. And therefore he shall go out. So Calpurnia says, oh my lord, your wisdom is consumed in confidence. You're showing overconfidence and you have not using your wisdom. So this part is also very important. It has appeared in the exams. So California says, please don't go out today. Call it my fear. You stay inside house and say it is my fear and not your fear that is making you stay indoors. Please send Mark Antony to the Senate house and telling that you are ill or unwell. And I will be on my knees and beg to you. So Caesar says, Mark Antony shall say I am not well. And just for you, I will stay at home. So for thy humor means to please you. And she gets up, and that is when Decius Brutus enters. So Caesar says, here comes Decius Brutus, and he shall tell the others. So Decius says, Caesar, all hail, good morning. Worthy Caesar, I have come to fetch you to the Senate house. So Caesar says, and you are coming in very happy time to bear my greetings to the senators. So Caesar saying, you have come at a very perfect time to share the news with the senators that I will not come today. So he says, cannot is a false, that I cannot come. And a dare not is even more a lie. Just I will not come. Tell them so, Decius. That is when Calpurnia says, say he is sick. So Caesar saying, shall Caesar send a lie? Have I in conquest stretched mine arm so far to be feared? To tell grey beards the truth? Decius, go tell them Caesar will not come. So have I accomplished so much in war and everything just to be afraid to tell some old men the truth? Decius, just go tell them Caesar will not come. So Decius says, most mighty Caesar, let me know some cause, lest I'll be laughed at when I tell them. So at least tell me the reason why you're not coming, or else they will laugh at me when I tell them so. So Caesar says, the cause is my will, I will not come. So it's my will that I will not come. That is enough to satisfy the Senate. But just for your satisfaction and because I love you, I will let you know that Calpurnia here tells me to stay at home. So now we come to Calpurnia's dream, which is again a very important part, so pay attention. So he says, she dreamt tonight. She saw my statue, which like a fountain had 100 spouts on it. And through the spouts, blood came out. And there were many strong Romans who were smiling and they bathed their hands in this bloody fountain of Caesar and blood sprouting out from his body. And he says that this is a warning, it's a bad omen of some immediate danger that is about to come. And therefore, she begged on her knees that I stay home today. So Decius Brutus very slyly says, oh, the dream is actually misinterpreted. It is a very good and lucky dream. Your statue spouting blood in many pipes in which so many smiling Romans bathe signifies that from you great Rome shall suck reviving blood. So he's saying that many people are actually begging you to give your blood to them as a sign of your approval, and they are keeping this blood or this trace amount of little stain that they are getting as an object of reverence, which is called a relic. So something, a kinti cheese like that. And of cognizance. Cognizance means a distinctive emblem or a badge. They are using this blood of yours as a sign of your approval, and they're keeping it as an honorable thing. So this dream is actually what I said and not what she thought it to be. So Caesar says, oh, you have well explained the dream to me. That was a beautiful interpretation. So he says, I have more to say. And the Senate have actually decided to offer you the crown today to mighty Caesar. Now, if you send the word that you will not come today, they might change their mind. Also, they will start mocking you by making fun of you, saying that they will postpone the Senate till another time when Caesar's wife shall have better dreams. Because if Caesar is not coming today because his wife had a nightmare, then they might mock, saying, let's decide to have a Senate meeting only when his wife has better dreams. And they would say, if Caesar hides himself, then they might say that Caesar is afraid. Sorry, pardon me, Caesar, for my dear, dear love to your proceedings, bid me to tell you this, and the reason to my love is liable. So he says, sorry, but my love compels me to tell you that this, and my love is a valid reason. So Caesar says, oh, how foolish I seem now, Calpurnia. I am ashamed that I actually listened to you and got convinced. Give me my robe, I will go now. So Decius Brutus has been successful in convincing Caesar to go to the capital. So that is when Brutus, Ligarius, Metellus, Cimber, Casca, Trebonius, Cinna and Publius comes. And Caesar says, oh, Publius has come to fetch me. So Publius says, good morning, Caesar. Caesar says, welcome, Publius. Oh, Brutus, you have also got up early today. Good morning, Casca, Caius Ligarius. And he says, Caesar was never much your enemy, so much as the sickness that has made you so thin. So what is the time? So Brutus says, Caesar, it is 8. So Caesar says, I thank you for all the pains that you have taken and for your courtesy. And that is when Antony enters. So he says, see, Antony, the person who parties all night long is awake. Good morning, Antony. Antony says, so to most noble Caesar. So Caesar says to the servant, bid them prepare within. So Caesar says, make preparation soon, because I have to be blamed to be keeping them waiting for so long. Then he says, Cinna, Metellus, Trebonius, I have an hour's worth of talking to do to you. Remember to see me today and stay close so that I can remember what I wanted to tell. So Trebonius says, Caesar, I will. And privately he says, I will be so near you that your best friends shall wish that I was far apart or further away, because they are planning to stab Caesar. So Caesar says, good friends, go in and taste some wine with me, and we, like friends, will straightway go together. She says, first taste some wine and then, like friends, we will go together. So Brutus says this privately. Every like is not the same. We are only like friends. We are not really friends. Oh, Caesar, my heart grieves when I think of what is going to happen. And they exit. So, this is the end of Act 2, Scene 2. So, please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about this video. Thank you so much. All the very best.